This week, a tool fight breaks out amongst Makitas.
Clint tries an all-new battery platform.
Vince has a game-changing circular saw.
And Snap-on thinks they have Milwaukee beat.
Plus, Rob Robillard comes around again and adds another $560 worth of his favorite tools to our giveaway shelf. This is your Power Tool Week in Review.
Today's episode is brought to you by Ohio Power Tool, Pro Tools, Pro Service at the best prices at ohiopowertool.com. And Skill, the tools to do the job, the technology to do it better.
Welcome back, Power Tool fans. I'm Rob.
And I'm Sarah. And before I get to the new Skill saw, why don't you tell them about Jay's head?
Oh, that's a good idea. So I'll make this super quick. If you're here within the first 60 minutes of our show being live every Friday, then keep an eye out for Jay's head somewhere in the episode. If you find it, you can email the timestamp to first@coptool.com. After 60 minutes, we'll randomly pick a winner from those who emailed us, and one of you will get a $50 gift card to Ohio Power Tool.
If you're interested in framing at all, you've no doubt run across Tim over at Awesome Framers. This week he took a break from teaching us best build practices to turn his attention to a very large group of cordless rear handle circular saws. No, you're not dreaming. That is indeed an absolutely beautiful collection of top tier rear handle saws with just about every brand represented, from Hilti to Metabo HBT, DeWalt, Milwaukee, and of course, Tim even has a monstrous 10¼ inch cordless saw squatch. Rob and I are both suckers for a really good head-to-head tool test, and when they're conducted by a tradesman with over 20 years of experience, you know it will be good. After a thorough overview of each contender, Tim uses each one to cut a bunch of compound miters into some seriously large beams, stopping to point out both pros and cons of each one. In the end, Tim actually chooses a winner! So refreshing. And I'm willing to bet most of you will be pretty surprised by who he picks as the winner. But before you make your assumptions, Tim explains a few caveats to come along with it. To find out which rear handle comes out on top, head over to Awesome Framers.
Speaking of overpowered rear handle circular saws, I swear I start most of my conversations that way.
He really does.
Yeah. Skill is a very sneaky power tool brand. Over the last few years, they've been slowly working their way up market with increasingly powerful tools, and this week, Vince found a new saw from Skill that proves they're not slowing down anytime soon. That is the all-new Skill PowerCore 20 XP 20-volt brushless 7¼ inch rear handle circular saw. That XP designation is new, and it refers to the dual battery setup, which is a first for Skill. By combining two 20-volt batteries, Skill aims to offer a proper overpowered rear handle saw, and according to Vince, they've pretty much done it. After unboxing and reviewing the features, Vince sets out to test the power and true depth of cut in some pressure-treated lumber. He even tosses in a few plunge cuts just for good measure. It seems like Skill's aiming to punch way above its weight, and to find out if they succeeded, stop over at VCG.
Our favorite Aussies are back, and they're forcing innocent tools to fight again.
Shameful.
This time, they're pitting brother versus brother.
Had they no decency?
That is the Makita 18-volt LXT hammer drill on the left and its new 40-volt XGT brother on the right. And the boys wanted to know if the LXT faithful should stand their ground or if the new XGT was worth crossing family lines. Now, this is a follow-up to their recent hammer drill head-to-head where they omitted the XGT drill seemingly just to get everyone upset. And it worked. So they instead made a separate video to highlight the improvements the 40-volt offers by putting it through many of the same tests. That includes comically large auger bits, the ever-present oversized lags, and even a step bit that ends up causing more trouble than it's worth. Really shouldn't wear sandals, guys. In the end, they not only make a great case for the XGT, they also reveal where it lands in the results of their previous video. You can find both over at Oz Tool Talk.
Snap-on doesn't seem too happy about Milwaukee walking all over their impact wrenches with better looking and more affordable models, so they responded by releasing this hideous green thing for still more money. That didn't work. So now they're launching another half-inch impact wrench, this time in red. Maybe that'll help. Either way, the team at Torque Test Channel put it on their dyno to find out if it finally made a worthy competitor. This is the CT9050, which is smaller, lighter, and thank goodness cheaper. It's even smaller and lighter than the Milwaukee, which is a pretty good start for a high torque impact. On paper, it's a real contender, claiming 800 foot-pounds of operating torque and 1,000 foot-pounds of bolt breakaway torque, which isn't too bad. Now, those aren't Milwaukee conquering numbers, but hey, it is more affordable. Of course, the proof is in the pudding, so TTC sets it up against the Milwaukee and the Rigid to see if the Snap-on belongs in this group. For the results, head over to Torque Test Channel.
We've got a few more videos for you, but before we get to that, Rob Robillard is back again this week. If you missed last week, we sent Rob shopping to buy $2,000 worth of his favorite tools so we could add them to our giveaway shelves.
Previously, he added over $800 worth of Milwaukee and a bunch of other random things he keeps in his tool belt. And this week, he aims to add another $560 to the shelf. Hey Rob, what have you got this time?
Hey, Rob Sarah. Thanks for having me back on the show this week. And this week, for my shelf, I'm going to choose the Milwaukee M18 Oscillating Multi-Tool. It's a kit. It comes with a 1.5 amp hour battery, tool bag, charger. It's an awesome tool. It's one of my favorite multi-tools. Also, the M18 Fuel Barrel Grip Jigsaw is going to come as a bare tool. And I'm including this because I do use this, but you did threaten me if I didn't have a barrel grip jigsaw on. And then the other tool I chose was the Milwaukee M18 Random Orbital Sander. Again, bare tool, nice sander. The Gen 2 is even better. From my tool bag, I'm going to use the, I'm going to go for the Stanley 6-inch combination square. I love this thing. Channel lock ratcheting screwdriver with the garage port with all the bits and pieces in there. This thing is just awesome. it's all in one for me. The Empire Speed Square, the etching on it. And the last tool from my tool bag is the Crescent Lufkin chalk line. Nice and small. I forget how long it's 50 feet. I can pull this thing and right out and do what I gotta do, but it's small. I'm like a backpacker. I like to keep things light, multiple tools and stuff like that. All right, next week I'm gonna show you the last few power tools that I chose and the hand tools that come right from my tool bag that I carry every day. I can't wait to talk to you next week, guys. Take care.
Thanks, Rob. Let's see what we've got here. So we've got the Milwaukee Multi-Tool, the Barrel Grip Jigsaw, the Random Orbit Sander, the Empire Square, the Channel Lock Screwdriver, and a Stanley Square.
Now that's just one of the shelves that this month's winner will get to choose from. We still have a full Milwaukee shelf that includes their popular 5-piece M18 fuel kit, the multi-tool jigsaw, trim router, and a bunch of pack-out pieces that are filled with accessories.
We have a Makita shelf with all XGT tools, including their rear handle saw, a drill and impact, 2 impact wrenches, a grinder, and more.
And finally, we have our DeWalt shelf with their drill and impact, their circular saw with FlexVolt Advantage, the recip and a jigsaw, and of course, my favorite, their FlexVolt 9-inch concrete saw.
Every month we randomly choose a channel member, then we call them live here on YouTube and let them pick which shelf they want.
Plus, last week we asked you to reach out to us if you knew of any shop classes that could use some tools, and the response has been, well, overwhelming to say the least. We expected contact information, but instead, we got some truly heartwarming stories about dedication, inspiration, and achievement. This month, we'll be sending a bunch of tools to a shop class who needs them, and we'll tell you more about it next week.
Okay, back to the news. Tools and Stuff got his hands on the new Makita 40V XGT chainsaw, but when he goes to unpack it, this happens.
One is a top handle or arborist style 40-volt chainsaw. And it doesn't normally come with a whole lot of bolts. I picked this up from Handy Hardware yesterday and chucked a few of the other things that I purchased at the time in the box just so it was easier to carry out of the store.
He stole that stuff.
No question.
Despite some of his moral choices, Tools was pretty excited to get the new XGT chainsaw and immediately put it to use against the popular Makita LXT 18-volt version. And how does he do that? By immediately cutting down his neighbor's trees without permission.
Sheesh, this guy's shady.
Right? He goes on to steal his neighbor's tiny LXT saw and uses that too. This kind of shenanigans goes on for nearly 30 minutes. For what it's worth, there are a ton of features to go over, and Tools does a great job of covering each one. He also takes the time to compare the various size batteries to see if they make a difference. But when he's done, he heads back outside and proceeds to bend all of his neighbor's posts.
What a mean guy.
I really don't get it. If you're deciding which Makita chainsaw to buy and you can stomach his social faux pas, head over to Tools and Stuff. Wait a minute, what did I just read?
Your script.
Was any of that stuff true?
What are you, the internet police?
What?
All right, I'd love to get into this deeper with you, but we're actually out of time, and I have a few more videos I wanted to point out, starting with the team over at Pro Tool Reviews, who brought out the all-new DeWalt Compact 2100 PST pressure washer for a test drive in the sun because they live in Florida. Jerks. Tim Johnson installed a brand new wall control metal pegboard system that's so great, we're going to do the same thing for the Make or Break set. And finally, Clint over the Tool Review Zone decided to review the new entry-level tools from Greenworks, and it looks like he doesn't know why any more than we do, but it's still fun to watch.
So can we go now?
Yes, we can. I want to thank Skil and Ohio Power Tool for sponsoring this episode, and Harrison Ford for watching. I love you.
He knows. Right?
Yeah.
If you liked this episode, we'd appreciate a thumbs up. And if you loved it, we hope that you subscribe.
If you can, guys, do something kind for someone else this weekend, and we'll see you next week.